Hi, Ray Cassidy back again with part 2 of the presentation on why SEO is so important to your marketing plans now in 2013. So we made the big crack about what's so sexy about SEO. Well, forget sexy, but it's blooming useful. And you know, how do you put this sort of Cinderella of the three sort of online marketing sisters to work for you? 3 parts to doing it successfully. You need targeted traffic, so you need a steady, ongoing, targeted pile flood stream of traffic from a variety of sources to generate new customers for your business. Targeted traffic, that means not just random anybody, but people who are searching exactly for what you do at the point when they're ready to buy. They're the juiciest targeted traffic you can possibly get. Secondly, you need a website that produces conversions. It's got to be an engaging website that turns visitors into customers. The third part is you need repeat sales and referrals. You need to be selling more stuff for more money to more people more often. And so how does that relate to this whole theme of SEO, search engine optimization? Search engine optimization is the way that you can tweak things so that you are better placed to get targeted traffic rather than just random traffic. So tuning your website in to what the people who are ready to have an itch scratched, tuning into how they're asking for the tools to scratch the itch effectively. You know, are they ready to buy your wrap, your body wrap? Are they ready to buy into your lead generation service? People who are desperate for a quick answer to a flooding drain that's cropped up and they haven't got a regular plumber. So are you the one that's going to pop up when they search from their relaxed desktop computer, from a stressy situation when they're banging away on their mobile? Are you optimized for any of those scenarios? Now, that's what I help out with in particular. This is where your web designer is your friend. It's been proven, and I'll run counter to that comment for a minute or two. It's been proven time and time again that but ugly websites can sell whatever you've got to sell if they're tuned into what the customer is asking for. If you're tuned into their pain right at the time they're hurting, well, you can still sell with a grotty looking website. Now, am I saying, you know, stuff the designers and stuff the aesthetics? No, I'm not, because if it answers the question and it looks good, you've suddenly got 2 of the sisters working together. So design is important, but if it isn't answering the question to those targeted visitors, then they're gone, particularly if they need an answer now. Now, moving on, if you've managed to make that sale, you've had a paying customer, then somewhere down the road your piece of kit wears out. You want them to buy it from you again. You want to buy the consumables. You want to sell the consumables to them. You want them to come back to you and you know, again and again and again, and spend more money with you. And then you want to get them to tell others about it. So all of these processes are important. The third area here, this is where your optimized website that shows up well in search, your nice looking website that's a pleasant experience that works intuitively comes in, and also where your social media and your email marketing come in for getting the word out there and keeping you high up in the relevance stakes with the search engines. So all of those 3 dimensions, if you like, are important when you ask your web designer to produce a website for your business. So tuning in, and it starts off with keyword research almost always. Well, no, it starts off with market research first, and then once you've identified your market and your customer persona, the ideal customer that you want to sell to, at that point you start your keyword research, and it's identifying which keywords people are typing in. So this is how are they asking the question to find the best provider of the service or the product or the solution to a problem that they need. How do they couch those questions when they type them into the search engines, because they don't often type them in full, and keyword research is about uncovering the patterns in the way they type them, because often they're intuitive to the business owner, but frequently the best ones are not intuitive to the business owner because your customer sees it from a different angle than you do. Once you've identified the ones which are relevant to your business, it's then picking out the ones which get the most searches and working those into a list. And then you need to look at how competitive those keywords are. Is there just 20 web pages in Carlisle that focus on that term, or are there 500 in Carlisle? Is there around about 10,000 worldwide that are focused on this particular term, or is it something in the region of 5 million web pages that are focused on this term? Obviously, less competition, the easier it will be to rank. So you now know you've got something. You've got keywords that are relevant. You've got keywords that deliver sufficient traffic. There's enough searches every day to make it worth chasing after. And you know that there's a couple of those keywords are actually, it might just be possible to compete and rank for them without spending a fortune or spending every hour that God sends working on them. And then the final one is, are these buyer keywords, or are they sort of research, DIY, or sort of sniffing about keywords? And once you've got those 4 dimensions nailed down and you've produced a list of keywords that might work, at that point you can get on to doing to building the website. So in the interests of keeping it sexy, this is about orgasmic SEO, or organic when it works. So relevance, good SEO is about becoming relevant in the eyes of the search engines and website, because if you're not paying for the traffic and you're trying to get the free organic traffic, then it's all about relevance. It's all about people saying that you're a good site. Google and Bing are watching what happens when people land. You've got Google Analytics and Webmaster Tools on there, and so they're measuring everything that people do. And the way that you become relevant is by generating, producing, writing, editing very, very good quality content that's focused on the particular keywords that you've identified, and generating and getting linked from this kind of content on and off your site. And if you're generating this stuff yourself, if you're getting writers to do it for you, if you're getting web developers to do it for you, try and get it produced so that it's stuff that people will engage with and they'll share. Why is it important to do all this to get the rankings? Basically, as these graphs show, if you're number 1, you get a lot of clicks. If you're number 10 on the first page, you don't get much action. If you're on page 2, okay, the persistent people might find you, but this is a very impatient, short attention span age. If you're on page 3, yeah, not much going to happen there. If you're on page 5, your granny will look for you. If you're on page 10, then your nerdy nephew might find you, or a search engine marketer might find you while they're doing their research. But that's all the action you're going to get. That's Google's graph. Look what happens when you look at Bing. Same pattern. Get on the first page and get high up. That's how you're going to get some action. So, all other things being equal, the higher you are in the rankings, the more clicks you get, the more visitors you get to your website, the more conversions you're likely to get, and if that's converting more people, that's more profit for you. So what are a very brief outline of how this is done. So on your web page, it's worth trying to get your website URLs relevant. So the way you do that is by having, you know, a web URL, the main part of the URL, the domain, which has got a keyword or a brand name in it, and the page of the website is titled, or it's titled with the keywords that you're targeting. Again, e-commerce sites in particular, where you've got hundreds and thousands of different products on the site, you know, imagine Amazon, imagine setting up the SEO for them. If you've got URLs that are just monstrous strings of characters like these ones, then you know, it's difficult to make it relevant. And this is, you know, this I call this the second Achilles heel for e-commerce sites. And without spending a long time going to look at an example, we can sort of make you think a little bit about your site if you do e-commerce. The first Achilles heel is the fact that I would say 9 times out of 10, even now, when you put a new when people put a new product on their website, they simply copy the manufacturer's description. The first Achilles heel is duplicate content. If there's 500 websites selling this one product and you've just grabbed the description, end of the day, and it's late and you're stressed and you've just plopped that description into the product description that's on your site, and you're the 498th person that's used that description, you're just another duplicate. Google looks at it and says, oh God, another one. Oh well, that's not worth bothering with, you know, we've got hundreds of them already and these lot are late to the table anyway, so you'll never show up for it. So duplicate content and dynamic URLs are a nightmare for e-commerce sites. Now, if there's one thing you can do to improve your SEO performance, your ability to show up in a search, is the title tag on the page. And we will go and have a quick look at this website. Moz do it very well because they really are an authority on search engine optimization and search marketing topics. Masses of good information here that's quite free, and some very good tools as well. Here, this is about SEO and what happens. So there's the URL's got it, the domain's got the brand name in it, and then up here, the bit that appears up on this title tag at the top of the page is SEO tactics, SEO again, and Moz. All the relevant keywords are in that title tag. This is the bit that appears in the code of the web page, and we'll just give this a second or two to resolve. And there we go. One of the first things Google finds when it scans through the code of the page, title, this one's about SEO, it's about SEO tactics, it's about SEO, it's obviously about SEO then, and it's from Moz. Oh, I know them, they're about SEO as well. So this is pretty relevant about SEO. So it's looking now as it goes down this page and finds that the open graph tags also talk about a consistent story about SEO. The description has a consistent story about SEO. As it goes down there, it's thinking, oh yeah, okay, this isn't a spam page, this is just definitely about this topic. And even though Google hates SEO and SEOs and the companies that do this work, because of the spammy practices that have been used in the past, it knows that this is relevant to what people are looking, and so if people are looking for it, this is what they'll serve up. Now, we mentioned the description there, and the description, the meta description of the page, isn't directly in itself going to rank you for SEO, but what it does act as, when it shows up on a search page, it's your sales pitch. And if that sales pitch confirms what the title tag in the search says, confirms what the URL says, and is compelling and makes them go and click on your page, and they stay there, then it's helped to supplement your SEO performance. Other things you can do, all the images on your page, tag them with the keywords and descriptions that are going to explain what the picture is about. Google can't see your pictures. It relies on you to tell them what the picture is about. If you tell it nonsense and it shows up for the wrong search, the web visitors will soon bin it and it will become less relevant. Blogging, get your blog posts up there regularly. Make sure that the blog posts target the keywords that you're targeting, so they're focused on that topic, they're well targeted. And try and make it engaging, try and make it lively. You know, my big thing is trying to make SEO exciting, difficult. So that's what you can do on your website, on a web page. There's another side to it. Off on other people's websites, if you can get somebody to link to your website, to point you out from their high authority website in your area, if you can get links from customers and colleagues and peers on their social media feeds, from Facebook, from LinkedIn, from Twitter, Pinterest even, Google+, that all helps, that all registers, and Google Plus is one not to underestimate, despite all the sort of demeaning comments that are made about it at the moment. If you can get reviews from customers on stuff that's posted on your website is good, but if you can also get reviews from some of the third-party listing directories, business listings that are out there, then you've got really good finger pointing going on. So getting links and social proof, the right kind of links from all over the web, really does help. So it's something that has to be built up. Getting the finger pointed at you is not easy, it's a lot of work. So you can do some of this yourself. You can post articles, you can post videos, you can stick blog posts up on other blogs that you've created. You can put how-tos in various other repositories, article directories, things with they can be about a 5-tip special, like the 5 tips that are posted in Cumbria every month. If there's another good blog that's in your niche, in your marketplace, see if you can get a guest post on there about what you specialise in. So contributing to those emags like in Cumbria and Cumbria 24, and arranging that you can link back to your website, not just to the sales page, because people are just going to not like that really. People don't like being hard sold to, generally speaking, but if you can link back to something relevant that says, hang on, this guy knows what they're talking about and they're actually giving me useful information, then that is all good for you. And don't be afraid to share stuff that other people have put up. Even if on occasion you're sending a link to a competitor, if your people are responding to that link and they come back to you because you've shared useful information, that builds up your authority, and any links you've got on your profile, on your secondary blog or wherever, that builds up the strength of those links, and in turn that builds up the strength of your main money website. So it's subtle, you've got to give a bit sometimes to get a lot. If you're competing in a highly competitive market, or you're trying to go worldwide or nationwide, your SEO might have to be built up into something that looks a bit like this spider, with links coming in from all sorts of social media, review sites, websites within your niche, professional associations maybe, social media, and various other repositories of information like hub pages and Squidoo and WordPress.com blogs and Dig. These, it can be quite daunting, but you have to start somewhere and you have to build up your relevance, and it's not easy, but it can be done. For most people looking at this, your target is probably a little less grand. Maybe you're looking to be a chiropractor that shows up and gets some customers from your website in Carlisle. So, things like Google Plus, your map listing in Google, your map listing in Bing Local and Yahoo Local, these are areas you'd go after. The business directories that are out there as well, these are really important for building up your local credibility. Getting citations that say you are this business with that name, at that address, with that phone number, you're a genuine business. That can do wonders for your local credibility. It's easy-ish at the moment, but if you dither about, your competitors are getting ahead of you. Get it done now, and if you don't know how to do it, get people like me to help you. So, it is crucial to show up in local results. Doesn't matter how traditional your business is, how little you think your business is. People are sniffing about, researching online. If you don't show up online, well, you're not really a modern business. You will get less trust. People are less likely to come to you. Okay. The more you show up, the more clicks you get, the higher your click-through rates, whether it's paid or search, more customers you're going to get coming through your door. It's a bit different if you're a service business like myself, where you don't have customers coming through the door. Getting a map listing gives you a slightly unique problem, because the rules are Google doesn't like you showing your address if you don't bring people through your door, if you haven't got a physical shop front. And so what you have to do, you have to tell Google to hide your address, and your pin marker on the map suddenly morphs into a little red ball and sort of floats up into the air and hovers around in the middle of the areas you say you serve. But it is still a valuable citation to have. And just before we finish, we'll take a look at a typical results page, and just to clarify what we've been talking about. If you're looking for painters and decorators in Penrith, what came up on this particular day was a few paid ads, people paying for the advertising to show up in paid search. Another block of paid advertising there, 2, 4, 6, 8, the usual number that shows up. Some probably quite strongly optimized there's a Yell listing and 2 website listings there, so they're probably quite strongly optimized, and Yell's a sort of a pretty powerful directory that shows up, that does tend to dominate local searches until individual businesses get their act together. Down here you've got the local listings, the map, which is sort of slowly evolving into a working version of Google Plus Local, and these are directly related to the little map that shows up here. Now if you can get a listing up here for one page on your website, you can get a listing in here for your map listing, and if you can get another page of your website that's relevant, or a blog post, or an article in the local newspaper website, or a press release showing up, you can quite easily dominate a local market. Not that any of you would like to do down your competition, of course, because we're all in this together, but basically if you want to compete, you need to be showing up here, you need to be showing up there if you're a local business, and if you're national, you need to be aiming to really go aggressively after the market in the UK. Right, I'm going to finish there because this has gone on rather a long time. There's a lot of information, and this is only a very shallow overview of what's involved. But thanks for listening. I hope